So there you go. There's my issue. Active head restraint 93 AF. I did say 93 before, I think. Anyway, it's 93 AF. Obviously, it's very cheesed off. So here's the completed assembly. Hopefully, if I put this up here, you can roughly see where I've done the fixing bit. So we've got the I'm just trying to angle that up a bit so you can see. So you can see there where the cable is coming along here and goes down into the tube, and then you follow the tube round, which is the bit that's connected to the headrest, and then you can see the bracket at the end there. So and then obviously the cable is emerging out of here. What I have done is slip it onto the end of the bracket, and you can see that it's roughly in position with you'll notice the little clip you can see there, that is going to be the one that we tighten up when we get sufficient clearance so that this can slide up and down. So it's that motion which destroys the cable. We clip this over. You'll see there's a couple of little clips that just hook over there. I don't know if you can see them very well in here actually, but it's just a couple of little hooks which clip over the bracket. I can just about see them there. They clip over the bracket and lock it in place once you've got it in place, and of course this whole thing then essentially goes back in its hole. But first of all, let's put the cover back on, which just clips into these two holes. So assuming everything's in place where it is, so if I hold it there, you'll see where I've pushed the cable back where it was originally, back through its slots on the top here, just to hold it in place, and then down to the charge unit here. Well, this is your firing detonator here for the actual airbag itself. So we're not going to play with that too much, obviously, but you can see that where that is. Let's just try and get this lid on. So this is my push button switch for the side here. Now you don't need to take this out. I managed to take it out and I shouldn't have done. So better be a lesson to you, don't bother doing that. There's no need at this stage, not for what you want to achieve. So obviously this, check the operation of this button effectively works by depressing the button and obviously seeing that it's got travel on it. So we'll lock that back down again where it is, which is fine, and we're ready now for putting it back into the car. So what I'll do is I'll try and fit this up so you can get an idea of the video on this, so you can see roughly how it goes together. Yeah, so he goes back over there. You can see that. So it just locks down on there. We'll do that when we get in the car once we've sorted out our how much of this, because it's this here which is the key to how this rides up and down on here. So it wants to be in the right place, so it folds down and effectively does this. So it's how that mechanism works when the seat is being moved up and down, as you can see. Right, so I'm going to attempt to show you how this works with the head restraint. So I'm going to use the button down here, which is obviously this one here, which you know and love, to move this bracket effectively up and down. So if I move him down, he'll come right down to the limit switch, and if I bring him right way up, you can see it coming up. So there's the slot it sits in. They are the two screws, one either side, that sits underneath the bracket. I think I'll try and get the other side and see if I can show you how this works from the other side. So there's your slot this side, so you can see where it's got to go in the hole there. So it goes in the hole there, and the cable is fed down to the one side there, so it comes down actually down inside here and feeds down into the back of the seat. And you can wriggle that down there, it's not a problem. And this cable then sits up in here for allow this to go up and down. It's that mechanism to go up and down which is what causes the issue with the cable there. So here you can see that I've slid it partly way on. You can see, just about see where I've got the clip holding him on, and obviously a bit of a loop there for this, allow this to go up and down inside the bracket. You can see where it enters the top of that bracket, where I've got this. I'll actually turn the plastic cover around so it's actually on here. This is the danger bit. This is where your problem starts to exist. As I say, I did try and cut that off close to there before and solder it, but it didn't last long. Yeah, I'm seeing on the end of the pin, I'm seeing 3.3 ohms, which I think is probably what the body module expects to see before declaring it a problem. And obviously if it goes open circuit here, then it disables not just this airbag but all the airbags, so it would be an MOT failure, I would assume. So anyway, we come down through here. I don't know if you can see that, down through the front part of it. There's that plastic clip needs clipping off, and then we move down inside here to where you can see it coming, hopefully just around the back of, you can probably just see it moving roughly in the back there, and it's got to come down and meet up with where are we? I lost the clip, the plug. There she is. So he needs to come down and obviously plug into this, which is then clipped into this. So let's get that back in place. So here he is back together with the wider on that, so you can see the back of the seat's still on, and I've put the trim back on again so we can see what that is. You can see the side airbag on there as well. I haven't put the plastic covers on this yet. You can see where the seat belt's going through now, and you can hopefully see the screws, one this side and there is one the other side, which hold this seatbelt tensioner on. So that's back on. The headrest is obviously well and truly on. Just flip this forward again. You can see you can hear the seat is actually adjusting itself, but the headrest is now back on where it lives. And if I manually use the switch to move it now up and down, you should hopefully see it moving between its lower position, and you can see the limit switches kick in as they hit the end stops. And obviously you can prove that by if you bring it to the end and then do it again, you can hear the limit switches telling the body module that it's reached the end stop. So right, let's get the rest of it back on. And obviously I've still very much got, if we flick this on, can still very much see that I've got my old friend on the dashboard there, well and truly on, which is where the problem originally started. So let's plug the computer in and tell that to go away, and we'll see if it comes back when I move the headrest up and down, because that was the original full condition. Let's see what happens. Let's get the computer. So let's see if we can clear these fault codes. And there you go, no fault codes. So let's see what happens when I move my seat headrest up and down. Which is what I like to see, along with yeah, a warning from the battery, but apart from that, along with it being happy about there being not another fault code, which is what we want to get to. Everything's back where you want it to be, apart from obviously the back of the seat. The wire that I used to do this splicing with, that I soldered both ends and heat shrinked, it was some old washing machine. I think it was a door switch, I think it was, which was twisted, a bit of twisted cable. It's about 1.5 mil stranded. Important that it's stranded, of course, because it does do a bit of flexion, as you've seen inside there. But other than that, of course, you're free to buy your BMW approved piece of cable that connects the detonator to the connector. There you go. Up to you. But as far as the work, hopefully you've seen this and thought about whether you can do it yourself. It is a do-it-yourselfer with the right tools, and can save you probably a fair few bob. So these are the cover clips that I was talking about earlier on. You can see that they are, if you look in the manual, it says they're one-time use and you throw them away, and because when you put the screwdriver under them, or your plastic, hopefully you've got a little splat. I'd use a plastic spatula or some description and prise them away. I'm going to put them back on again. The clips themselves, they do snap off, so they may not stick on there very well, but I suppose you could always plastic glue them on there, or put something silicone on there or something, and just to hold them in place. Probably do the trick. Otherwise, it's a trip to your friendly BMW agent again and get some new ones. Up to you, your shout. Cheers. I hope you've enjoyed.